This is a welding trick most professionals never share. 1. When the gap between two steel plates is too wide for proper welding alignment, first weld an L-shaped angle bracket in place. Weld a bolt onto one end of the bracket. Drill a matching hole through the square tube. Insert the bolt into the hole and tighten it securely. Next, weld a bearing onto the side of the square tube. Use the bearing to press the plates together and close the gap. This allows you to continue welding without interruption while keeping the weld seams straight and clean. 2. Weld a pair of nuts with washers onto one end of a steel rebar. Weld another pair of nuts with washers onto the opposite end to create a pivot point. Build a second rod the same way. Install springs on the inner sides of both rebars. The result is a simple spring-loaded clamping tool that works perfectly for temporary holding and positioning jobs. 3. Weld a steel pipe inside the inner race of a bearing. Slide a socket sleeve over the outside of the bearing. Weld a thin steel tube to the side of the sleeve so it rotates smoothly. Weld 2 perforated steel plates onto the end of the pipe. Install steel plates and ratchet discs through the holes. Weld a hand crank onto the end of the assembly. Finally, attach a lifting chain and secure one end. You now have a manual lifting frame. The ratchet mechanism locks the chain in place, making it much easier to lift heavy objects or vehicles. 4. Cut a small notch into the side of a nut and insert a threaded rod through it. Weld a U-shaped steel bracket onto the top of the rod. Finally, slide a ruler into the slot. The finished tool becomes a simple manual marking guide that makes measuring and layout work faster and more accurate.